It happened with a bang that cracked through the calm morning air like a gunshot, followed by that terrible metal-on-metal crunch, the kind that makes every bird go silent and every neighbor peek through their blinds. My old F-150 sat there, side caved in by the gleaming white bumper of a Cadillac Escalade, and for a second, it was dead silent inside and out. But inside me, I felt calm. Because I knew it had worked. She took the bait. In my rearview mirror, I saw her Vivian Lancaster strutting toward my truck like a general on the warpath. HOA president, self-appointed queen of Lakewood Crest, and, as of this morning, the soon-to-be star of her very own downfall. Her face wasn't horrified like you'd expect from someone who just caused an accident. No. It was smug, like she'd finally cornered the neighborhood nuisance, ready to put an end to her little vendetta with a cherry on top. "You hit me," she screamed before I even opened the door. "He's unhinged. He's been harassing me for weeks." She was performing, putting on the show she'd probably rehearsed in front of a mirror. The neighbors started trickling out, cameras in hand, phones held high like torches, catching every second. And I just sat there, hands on the wheel, saying nothing, letting her dig. Vivian thought I was just some sad old guy named Mark Taylor. Retired teacher, moved into the fixer-upper at the edge of the lake, the kind of guy who just wanted peace and quiet. She didn't know I'd chosen this house, this street, for a reason. She didn't know the man she thought she was harassing had 20 years in law enforcement, or that every insult, every fine, every bogus citation had been quietly recorded on the Axon body cam clipped beneath my shirt. To her, I was a grumpy recluse. In reality, I was an undercover sheriff and she'd just assaulted an officer. Let me back up a sec. 3 months earlier, a letter had landed on my desk. Plain envelope, no return address, the kind you buy in bulk at the dollar store. Inside was one typed page, shaky letters, maybe an old typewriter, definitely someone trying not to leave a trail. The message was simple, scared, and damning. "I'm a retired accountant, a resident of Lakewood Crest. Our HOA president is stealing. She's using fake contractors, pocketing assessment funds, and silencing anyone who questions her. Please help before she ruins more lives." I'd seen complaints like that before. Usually it's a neighborly spat. This one felt different, too specific, too desperate. I couldn't investigate formally. Vivian would see it coming a mile away and shred everything. So I took leave. Used some vacation time. Bought an old truck, a closet full of flannel shirts, and moved in as Mark Taylor, the world-weary ex-teacher with a busted knee and a love for birdwatching. Nobody suspected a thing. It didn't take long for Vivian to notice me. First it was the sign I put up, "No trespassing seriously." That drove her nuts. Then came the passive-aggressive citations. Grass too tall by half an inch. Trash being set out 15 minutes too early. An unapproved porch light. She'd find me, email me, even show up in person, voice sweet as arsenic, always, for the good of the community. And I smiled through all of it. Because every word, every threat, was being recorded. Eventually, I figured out who'd sent the letter. Mr. Lyle Patterson. Quiet guy, maybe late 70s, lived 2 doors down with a rose garden and eyes that never stopped scanning. I approached him casually, told him I had questions about HOA spending. He nearly dropped his rake. We met the next day, 2 towns over. He brought a leather-bound ledger, his own private accounting of 5 years of missing funds. "Just don't let her find out," he whispered, "she'll ruin me." So, yeah, by the time Vivian decided to escalate things, by the time she rammed her Escalade into my truck, I had 3 months of documentation, 2 witness statements, a whistleblower's records, and a body cam full of incriminating footage. All I needed now was a crime that would open the legal doors, and she'd just gifted me one. I stepped out of the truck slowly, calmly. That alone seemed to throw her. She stopped mid-rant when she saw I wasn't yelling. I wasn't playing the victim. I was just methodical. I tapped my chest, right where the camera sat. "This is being recorded," I said. She blinked. "Are you threatening me?" she barked. "No, ma'am," I replied. "I'm informing you. My name's not Mark Taylor. It's Sheriff Marcus Cole. And you just committed assault on a law enforcement officer." I could feel the entire street freeze behind my phones, lowering just slightly, mouths dropping open. "And Vivian?" she cracked. The color drained from her face like someone pulled the plug. For the first time in years, she was speechless. When my deputies arrived, she barely resisted. The cuffs clicked, and you could feel the balance of power in Lakewood Crest shift like a tectonic plate. Lyle stood on his porch, phone held high. She hit his truck. "I saw everything," he called out. Another neighbor chimed in, had footage too. Suddenly, the Queen had no subjects. But that was just the beginning. With her in custody, I had probable cause to search her home. The search turned up what I expected and more. A hidden safe in her home office, biometric lock, buried beneath a fake floor panel. Inside were 3 encrypted hard drives and a black notebook. That notebook. It had names, bank accounts, passwords, even the shell companies she'd used to reroute HOA funds. That's when the bigger twist hit. Those funds didn't just lead back to her. One of the biggest recipients of the payouts was a man named Franklin Rhodes, a local zoning commissioner who'd mysteriously approved all of Vivian's most profitable community upgrades. The pattern was unmistakable. You don't need a conspiracy board and red string to see what was going on. She funded him. He protected her. And together, they bled Lakewood Crest dry. I brought Rhodes in the next week. Just me, him, and a manila folder. One sheet inside proof of a $20,000 wire transfer to his personal account, one day after he approved the new Lake Pavilion. At first, he denied it. Then his hands started shaking. Then he broke. Gave me everything: Gmails, records, names. His voice cracked like old wood under pressure. Vivian took a plea deal after that. She didn't have a choice. Her kingdom was burned to the ground. Rhodes was indicted. More names came out. The HOA board was dissolved, replaced with a new one. And guess who the neighbors elected president? That's right, Lyle Patterson. The man who once shook just handing me a letter now stood in front of the community flipping burgers at the first HOA picnic in years. I remember sitting on my porch that night, watching the fireflies blink over the lake, and thinking, not bad for a retired teacher. The neighborhood had laughter again. Real laughter, not the tight smiles people used to wear when Vivian passed by. Kids were playing, folks were chatting. It was peaceful. But here's the thing. People always ask me, we go through all that trouble. Why go undercover just to take down some HOA tyrant? Because corruption doesn't need a big stage. Sometimes it's hiding behind a picket fence with a clipboard and a smile, wrecking lives one signature at a time. And if good people stay quiet too long, power takes root. So yeah, it was just a cul-de-sac. Just a petty tyrant in heels. But for these people, it was their whole world. And for once, they got it back. What do you think? Was it justice, or just revenge dressed up with a badge? Let me know. Because sometimes, in towns like this, the real war isn't loud. It's quiet. It's polite. And it's far from over.